Welcome back. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, today marks 8 years since Bafana captain Senzo Meyiwa was shot and killed. His life was cut short at the height of his career in what at first looked like a robbery gone wrong. He was in the company of his then-girlfriend, Kelly Khumalo, and 5 others, including a childhood friend. The 5 men accused of killing the Bafana captain claim they're being framed. On the anniversary of his death, we go back to the place where the star grew up. eNCA reporter Slindelo Masikane joins us now from Umlazi. Good morning, Slindelo. You are where exactly Senzo Meyiwa grew up. I mean, it's almost unbelievable that it's 8 years to this day that he's lost his life. And the reality is we're nowhere closer to knowing the truth. People are actually even more confused now as to what exactly happened.
Certainly so. It's been 8 years, and of course we are seeing the trial of 5 men unfolding in the North Gauteng High Court in Gauteng. But for those here in KwaZulu-Natal, for those here in Umlazi, in this township where he grew up, they remember someone who was loved by everyone in this community, somebody who put Umlazi on the map. You know, his talent, in fact, was developed, nurtured, was developed right here in this particular township. But to take this conversation further, I'm joined by one of Senzo Meyiwa's former coaches, that is Mr. Augusto Palacio. Thank you so much for your time this morning. You worked very closely with Senzo Meyiwa in his early time in his career. Maybe just take us back to how you met. Special about Senzo Meyiwa.
Yes, good morning to the view. Yes, I met Senzo Meyiwa when he was the age of 13 years. I remember he was playing the tournament in Marife for Safa Regional, and we scout him, and we went to talk to the parents where he stayed, and then with the blessing the Dr. Ivan Cosa, we bring to Johannesburg. I mean, he started in Paira from the age of 13. Very commitment person, very enjoy football, and never complain for anything. But very important for him in his career, it was the patience he has to wait for his opportunity. He waited 7 years in the bench to be settled in the first team. I remember when Tebogo Molloy and Costa Papi went to Mayfair to watching him in our game for the league, and then from there, the later the Soto Acosta spoke to the chairman, Dr. Ivan Cosa, to sign for the first team. This was very emotional when the development continued growing in Orlando Pirates like what happened before. And then from there, I say he competed with the other goalkeepers, William Opara, etc. And when he has settled in the team, he was called from Bafana. He was compete very well with Kune. And then too many stories with him. I remember the sometime to visit to my family, he take the bus to go to see the family, arrive in the morning, and after see the family come by again and play on Sunday. Very commitment player. I had too many memories with him, because I know him from very young, but unfortunately was happy with him. It was a very sad news, and I still have too many videos for him when he played for the junior and the senior. We always remember him. He was one of the players who recognized Dr. Cosa very well, because the relationship between Dr. Cosa and his family was very great. Great. The communication was always there. And all the coaches from the junior to the senior, and especially I say the later, the Soto Acosta, who went personal also to Durban to talk to the family.
Mr. Palacio, maybe talk us through what his death did to his team, to his teammates. What kind of effect did it have on his fellow teammates in Orlando Pirates?
No, it was very difficult, you know, because we lost Lely Mañantela, and then after we come into lose him and all his colleagues, you know, the Jose Macaña, Taban Radeve, Benny Vilacasi, etc., not to mention all. He was very shocked. I only hear the news around 3 o'clock in the morning when somebody called me and mentioned the death, the census. It was very difficult moment, to training. The players to concentration, they need to stop the training section, and we fly to Durban, the whole team, and it took time. It took a lot of time to understand this pain. It was not easy really, because it was Lady Mayantela first, now coming Senso, and before Senso was coming Guilherme. I mean, it was very, very difficult to understand and to hold, because all these players coming from the time they developing in earlier age. I mean, it was difficult to understand. The chairman need to, to take player to counselor, because it was very difficult. It was no concentration, mental to come into training. It was a long process, really. It was very long process. And also to explain the new generation who coming from the development, what happened, and to try to encourage. It was a serious talking to the players to not move into the clubhouse, because we don't know who was the person or who was the criminal who do this, and then really was affecting the whole club. It was very, very sad news and very, very sad moment.
Yeah. Maybe then lastly, Mr. Palacio, can you just tell us what you want to young people who aspire to be football players? What do you want them to take away from Senzo Meyiwa's story?
First, he went out home from Durban to Johannesburg to looking for better future. He was very disciplined. He was schooling in Bupilo schooling, and also in eNCA secondary school in Mayfair. He was in time for training, and what more important for him is to training. If the team is rest, he was training, because the clubhouse was closer to the ground. And also the patience he had. He never had any comment against the coach or the club, why he not playing. No, he was patient. He waited 7 years to be regular in the first team. And this is one of the key that people need to understand. Not in the hurry, also looking people around you. Who is around you? The secondly is friends. It's very difficult to understand who is friend. Friend, he cannot take you to drink, to drugs, to smoke, to parties. This is not a friend. This is the enemy. Because soccer player need a lot of discipline. He need a lot of training, a lot of rest, and specific to correct his mistake he have. And Senso, he did the same Guilherme and the same Lele Mañantela. To be professional player, it's not easy, because it needs a lot of support from the family, and the family must not be scared to discipline his child. He needs to understand this football career is a benefit in the finance aspect, but he needs to be very serious. From 24 hours, 7 hours rest, sleep, and the rest need to focus on football.
Thank you so much for your time this morning. That is Mr. Augusto Palacio, one of Senzo Meyiwa's former coaches in Orlando Pirates in his development stages. Just take us through the memories he has of Senzo Meyiwa in his early stage and in his career, and of course reflecting on his life. Back to you in studio.
Thank you very much, Slindelo, for that. What a great career he had. At least what I'm taking from that is that hard work does in fact pay off. That's eNCA reporter Slindelo Masikane, who continues to monitor the case around Senzo Meyiwa's passing. And today we are marking and celebrating his legacy. Now, still to come.